What we have here is a very strong build, solid bitch, as it is very difficult to get in this breed. She is very well constructed from top to the end, and it all fits very well together. She's also in a blooming condition, perfect quality of muscle, so the overall picture is very impressive indeed. Head-wise, she shows a classic Dogue de Bordeaux head without being overdone in any way. I like her stop very much and her quality of eyebrows. Nice expression of eye, and not to forget beautiful color. It's difficult to get the real rich colors in red-masked dogs, but she is a good example of that it is possible. She has a strong muzzle, large nostrils, and her nose just is lifting slightly, which is highly typical for the breed. And she shows a definite chin. To be hypocritical, I would suggest, I would like to see her even, that she shows even more chin, and she could do with a bit more wrinkles, a bit more furnishing. But in head-wise, quality-wise, it's a decent, feminine, strong head. The front is extremely solid. It's not much wrong with that. Quite broad, quite deep set, lovely quality of neck. The bone goes well together with this size. Again, to be hypocritical, she could do with a bit more perhaps. But what I like extremely much in this bitch is her ribs and the quality of back and loins. And if you would look her from the other side, just to turn her around, you can see her hindquarters. That's a quality one seldom sees in Dogue de Bordeaux. A nice tail set, but far more important, broad, deep, excellent quality of muscle from the top to the end. So this bitch, I'm sure she will move perfectly. So sound and strong, again, as one seldom sees in this breed. And that was also the reason why she won yesterday in the end. There were probably bitches there which were more impressive in head and more impressive in bone, but there were no bitches whatsoever with this overall quality of body, construction and movement.
Can we have her move?
Yes.
Straight out and straight back, Donna.
Fuzzy. Let's go.
To my standard, there's not much wrong in terms of movement. Perhaps you just could give her a round. Is that possible to view?
Yes.
That they will see how easy she will go. And she is really a big, strong, heavy bitch. And it's all so well put together that you can't go wrong with it.
Let's go.
And now you also can see that when she's moving, she shows much more angulation in knee and hock in comparison to when standing. So this is the kind of breed you really should judge when moving how well they are angulated. When standing, they should not be as much angulated as in many other breeds.
So,
to put it in a few words, what is a Dogue de Bordeaux type-wise? I always say go on, start with a Bull Mastiff and put on some extra sauce of the Bulldog, and then you will get the Dogue de Bordeaux. So it's very difficult or very important not to go for a clean cut Bull Mastiff-y like dog, because then you will end up with no breed whatsoever. Another important thing is don't go for the bigger the better. The best Dogue de Bordeaux are the smaller ones, and they impress as if they are very big dogs. So I will keep on going with the comparisons making to the Bull Mastiff, because that's the easiest to understand. A Bull Mastiff should not be low on the leg. A Dogue de Bordeaux should be low on the leg. So it should be lower on the leg than a Bull Mastiff or a Mastiff or even a Neapolitan Mastiff. Another important thing is the head should look a very big comparison compared to his body. So almost out of proportion. In that respect, that's what I mean with the Bulldog influence. Head-wise, there are some details which differs the Dog de Bordeaux from the Bull Mastiff. A good Dog de Bordeaux has a deeper stop, has more quality of eyebrow, more defined eyebrows, and has definitely more wrinkles. Wrinkles should be there all the time, not only there when showing attention, all the time. The Dog de Bordeaux should have a real strong chin mark with a U-shaped form, so it really should be undershot. If the Dog de Bordeaux has hardly any undershot or even level, no good, no chance. And another important detail, talking about the muzzle, the nose should be slightly lifted, not as much as in the Bulldog, but certainly more than in the Bull Mastiff. Perhaps you could also say, well, look at the lift of the nose in a boxer. Quite simple. Front, very important, it should be broad. In a Bull Mastiff, one should talk about if a Bull Mastiff should have a Dog de Bordeaux front, one would say this is too loaded, too broad, too low set. Which means that you really want to have rather clean-cut shoulders for sure, but the upper arm should really be broad with plenty of muscles, which follow plenty of rib cage, as much that the front legs, it's quite difficult to get them really straight. So the standard allows to get the front legs slightly outwards. It's very important. That will give the typical front in a Dog de Bordeaux, so don't punish a Dog de Bordeaux when the feet are going slightly out. It's in the same as with Bulldogs. Of course, not too much. Queen Anne is very wrong, but please allow a bit of freedom there. What is as important as the top line, you want to have that in a decent straight top line as in many other breeds, but the other line, so the line which goes from brisket to loins, is it called loins? Yes. Tummy, that's another very important characteristic. So in a full-grown Dog de Bordeaux, you want to have the underline of the brisket down the elbow, and it should go in a slight curve down to the tummy with quite a tuck up. Of course, not as in a side hung, but quite a tuck up as in Bulldogs. Hindquarters, very difficult to get right and proper, certainly in a typical Dog de Bordeaux. But what is very important, not so much the angulation. Again, we really can see what a dog is able to do with his angulation when he's moving, but you certainly want to have quality of muscle. And it's a main characteristic of the breed that not only the first thigh is very strongly developed, but also certainly the second thigh, which also there is again a bit of the Bulldog influence, and which makes it quite different to the Bull Mastiff, which is cleaner cut overall. To talk about cleaner cut and the difference between Bull Mastiff and Dog de Bordeaux. Now you get in the Bulldog again. If you look on top of a Dog de Bordeaux from behind, you will see all different parts. In a Bull Mastiff you go from one neck, clean cut shoulders, ribs, clean cut loins to hindquarters, more or less one line with plenty of substance for sure, clean cut muscles, which gives one kind of picture. In Dog de Bordeaux you want to have neck different from front, different from ribs, slightly less developed loin party, and almost the same breadth you would like to see for the hindquarters. So it really are different parts, and in that respect very different from what you look for in a Bull Mastiff. Movement. A good Dog de Bordeaux will move differently to a Bull Mastiff. A Bull Mastiff is more the easygoing athletic dog because of his cleaner cut. He doesn't have that low set a body, not that broad a body in the good examples. So you cannot expect a Dog de Bordeaux to move as light-footed as a Bull Mastiff does. So we go for, of course we go for an effortless movement, but it should show a lot of strength. And a good one really impresses that he is so able to move easily with a long stride, because he has all that substance to carry with him. So it's difficult to put in words, but he should have a more definite gait, more that he's really working as a draft horse. Perhaps that's what I would say. Working as a draft horse, that's what makes a Dog de Bordeaux. That's about it.